Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Good. This is Mike Darcy. I'm calling about the Kingston Neighborhood Watch.
Oh, great. Thanks for calling in.
Oh,
No
Mike.
problem. Good. Hey, how you doing?
So, well, I understand that that you've had enough of some of the stuff that's going on in Kingston.
Well, you know, it's just we had something happen that kind of hit close to home, and it just seemed like there wasn't enough happening. So we, my wife and I, decided we were going to try and see what we could do to secure the safety of not only our kids, but my wife walking to work and our friends and families.
It's anybody that takes enough of an interest in their neighborhood to try to fix these kinds of problems. That's a brave person in my book, especially with the kinds of crime that goes on these days.
Well, I can tell you that it's there's been some programs in the city of Kingston that have gone to the wayside. They've started, and then either because of lack of funding or lack of interest in the program, they've just been fallen. And my wife and I have made a commitment to try and start something and try and finish it at the same time. We're going to continue with passion to do the best we can with what we're trying to set up here.
Well, and how much interest have you seen in the Neighborhood Watch?
Oh, it's been tons of interest from, within the first 48 hours of starting it, we had gotten phone calls from several local officials thanking us for what we're doing, friends and neighbors. We scoured the neighborhood and talked to, we must have talked to hundreds of people, and they all had very positive, we got very positive feedback from them.
How many people are participating already?
How many people are participating is we have a Facebook group that we started, and from Monday till today, I believe we're at 580 fans, and those are people that have just expressed their interest and their willingness to help with the program. And
do you really think that getting people out, getting the citizens out on the street, being the eyes and ears of law enforcement, you think that's going to cause the let's call them the miscreants to move on to easier targets to other cities?
I'm not sure I'm not sure what's going to happen. I know that if you see a group of people wearing brightly colored shirts with big lettering and a town crier symbol on their shirt saying, we're here and we're looking at everything that you're doing, and if you're doing something while we're watching you, we're going to report you. It's got to have some sort of deterrence, and even when we're not there, it should make people who are into doing those kind of criminal activities think twice about it.
Yeah, I like the whole idea about what you call the bell and whistles program. That's a pretty good idea. You and I talked earlier in the day. I mean, I liken it to the primordial thing of going back to like a deer on the road.
Right.
The headlights scare him, but a loud noise will move him along, won't it?
Right, and it also draws attention. If you mace, it's quiet. It's going to, if you give somebody a can of mace, it's going to injure you. And you might actually be able to fend off an attack, like what happened to, the woman in Uptown on the corner of St. James and Wall.
Yes.
It might help to give you a second to run away. But if you have a whistle and something happens to you and you get attacked, you lay on that whistle, it's going to draw attention to you. It'll make people, open their blinds and look outside. And that's another goal of the Neighborhood Watch, to make people aware of their surroundings. Open your windows. Don't stay inside all the time and be scared to say something. You should have a support group around you to empower you to be able to stand up and say, I see what's going on out here and it's around my neighborhood and there's no possible way that I'm going to be fearful of any sort of retaliation.
And you just said it perfectly, my neighborhood, because neighborhoods don't make a people make a neighborhood.
Right.
And this is and what you're doing right now goes right back to the basic founding of this country. When people have had enough and people want to enjoy their freedoms, they're going to take the bull by the horns, if you pardon that Texas analogy. And the whole idea is that what you're doing right now is just you guys are basically by becoming a neighborhood watch, you guys are in fact a de facto militia protecting your own neighborhood.
Yeah, I want to stay away from the extremes. I want it to be, a community-based organization where the people just aren't going to tolerate, people getting beat up in their robbed for $20 and beat up in their block or on their corner. I want people to be able to send their kids to school, walking to school, without fearing that something will happen to them either on the way home, on the way to school, or on the way home.
Oh,
it's huge.
Absolutely. As a parent, I applaud your efforts because, you're right. This is not about politics. This is not about liberal, conservative. This is not about black, white, green, or pink polka dots. This is about the basic fundamental freedom from fear, which is supposed to be one of our 4 freedoms.
And that is exactly how a conversation went. We have on Facebook, we have a Facebook group, Kingston, New York Neighborhood Watch, and that Facebook group had a discussion, and people had voiced their concerns about whether or not it was going to be political. And I cannot stress this enough. There is nothing political about what we're doing, and we will take support from whoever gives it. Obviously, you're going to use common sense with that. We're not going to take support from extremists or from any sort of something that's going to, be detrimental or a distraction to what we're trying to do. Support is support. I don't care what color, Democrat, Republican, pink, yellow polka dots, exactly like you said it doesn't matter. If we get support and we're able to get the word out there that this is what we're doing and it increases our numbers and our strength, who are we to say no?
Oh, absolutely, because, everybody lives in a neighborhood. Let me tell you something. Crime is non-discriminatory. Anyone can be a victim of crime.
Yep. That woman that got attacked, nobody ran up to her and asked her whether she was a Republican or a Democrat.
No, but nobody asked her how rich she was either. They I'm sorry to say that they beat that poor woman into the sidewalk for $20 in a debit card. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's repulsive.
Yes.
And we've had other incidents in the past in this area as well. It wasn't all that long ago when somebody came over from Poughkeepsie to basically to assassinate a witness.
It happens. It happens. You'd be surprised. I mean, maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but I can tell you I was surprised. In the canvassing of the neighborhood that we did within the first 48 hours of the attack, there are numerous people who say that they know someone who's either attacked or mugged or beaten or robbed anywhere surrounding Broadway and anywhere around, uptown, from uptown to downtown. I mean, the criminal activity that's happening in the city of Kingston is beginning to spread, and if we just want to be helpful, we don't want to interfere with police. We don't want to do anything like that. We want to be helpful. And in fact, I personally reached out today with no phone calls back yet, but hopefully I will, to the state police, Ulster Sheriffs, and Kingston City. So, we are out there and we're seeking liaisons. It's important.